Hey everyone, Fuse here. Today I wanted to take a look at the possible upcoming banners in the second half of November of 2020. And I'm just going to jump right into these. And we're first going to take a look at the possible grand election banner that JP also got in mid 2019. So this could be an insane banner. On the notice that we got, it did say step 3 guaranteed job for Snow White. And since Snow White also won in JP, and this was the first grand election banner that they got, it's most likely going to be the same one. And it's going to come with this job right here, the Snow White Paladin Grand Prix. It's going to come with the same stats as most other Paladins, 700 M attack with the Arcana, and then 100 M defense. And looking at the weapon, this will be an absolutely insane banner for Paladins. At a 17 cost, you're going to have 2300 magic attack, so a 500 attack difference just about between the two attacks. It's going to have DC 1, which is very solid, one of the better color support skills you can have. But it's going to have this skill right here, which is the first that's going to arrive in the game for us if they don't nerf this banner, which I'm concerned they might. It's going to increase power when allied nightmares are active, and it's 1 to 2 target enemies, normal skill like that. But since it increases power when when allied nightmares are active, it's gonna be very powerful with things like Freeze Golem or also with Shadow Lord. It could be very deadly. And for a 17 cost, it'll be easier to fit in a grid than like a 18 or 19. And since this banner is a 3-step with a guaranteed featured item on the 3rd step, and this is going to be the only featured item if they don't change the banner, it is going to be insanely easy to MLB the spear. So overall, my thoughts on this banner, I would say probably everybody should pull to the 3rd step just to get the guaranteed job. And then if you're a paladin or even maybe an M attack user at all, you should MLB the spear no matter what, because it's going to be 3750 to MLB. That is going to be the cheapest spear MLB you can probably get in the game for probably the whole time. My concern is that it came out in 2019, middle of 2019. So for JP, that was about the end of year 2. So this is about a year and a half ahead of our timeline. So I wouldn't put it past them to nerf this banner or to nerf the weapon on it, but this is most likely what we're going to get, and I think no matter how they nerf it, is probably going to be a must pull anyways for the job. And then depending on how bad the spear is, I think the stats alone from an MLB spear in anyone's grid is going to make it very useful. So I think that's going to be a must pull and then a must MLB for Paladins. Looking at the second banner, this comes after the Alt Dorothy banner in the normal banner rotation. This banner is actually pretty solid for M attack users as well. Things just keep rolling in for them. We're going to look at the metal shop real quick. So same stats on paladin classes, the 700 M attack plus 100 M defense. Spear, pretty solid, DC 1, and then it's probably going to have, I want to say this is going to be like 4th best, 5th best skill for a spear, 1 to 2 enemies, and then decreases magical attack. You'd probably want either increase your magical attack or decrease their M defense. That would probably be ideal, but the best skill would just be a tier 4 straight damage skill. The stat distribution's pretty solid, 2300 at MLB for a 17 cost. It's pretty comparable to the last spear, but you're probably only be getting 1 copy. But I think the better of the weapons on this is going to be this bow, this gun. It's going to be 18 cost again. It's going to have similar distributions, 2400 almost stats, or M attack. It's going to have DC 2, so even better. And then it's going to have the second best skill you can have on a weapon, decrease their M defense, and then a tier 3 single target skill. I think this is going to be the better of them. And looking at the staff, this is going to be a hard skip, single target, no RS. And then this is going to be a very niche nightmare. Lowers M defense, so this could be good if you're like all 5 vanguards are magical attack, but other than that, I think that's not a reason to pull. They're probably not going to put Criminal's Manuscript or Sinner's Manuscript. they skipped most of the RUS weapons that have been on JP banners. So I think for this banner, I would pull if you're a paladin just to get the job, and then if you're a gunner, it's gonna be even better. Pull for this gun, and then also pull for this job just for the M attack. I think this is gonna be a must pull for paladins as well, or M attackers overall. And then looking at the next banner, this is what comes next in the next banner rotation after the Cinderella Paladin. This I think is going to be probably a better banner for physical attackers. I think this is going to be a skip for clerics unless they want the job, but that's kind of up to you at that point. So looking at the banner in the metal shop, it's going to be, I think, 100 stats in each normal cleric distributions for the stats on the job. This is going to be a single target tier 4, pretty passable, and then RM1, which is alright, and then pretty average defense stats for 17 cost. So that is not a very good staff at all. This is going to be greatly lower magical attack for all ally or for all enemy vanguards. It's going to be the counterpart to the Ouroboros that also released, I want to say, on the Dorothy banner. So maybe have this stocked if you're going against 5 magical attackers, but I don't think debuffing nightmares are too important anymore, except for probably Red Rose. We're going to skip over these 900 metal weapons and then go to this sword. The sword is pretty alright for an 18 cost. It's going to have decreases physical attack, so it's not ideal, and then physical attack debuff, probably one of the worst support skills that you can have. But it's going to have decent distributions into physical attack for an 18 cost weapon. But I think the real reason you're going to pull on this is for this hammer that is also on it. We're going to skip over the orb as well. It's going to increase own physical defense, which is alright, and then tier 3, 1 and 2 targets, but has DC 2. It favors P attack, not too much, but I think it's just enough to be usable, and then 18 cost. So I think, since physical weapons are kind of in a drought right now, besides the Little Red Riding Hood alt weapon, I think this is going to be your next banner to look forward to, since there's not too much else. So I think try and get as many of these hammers as you can. And since this sword is on here, this could be good for your subgrid since it has high physical attack, or it could be good as filler for a physical grid. And then looking at the banner that comes after this in the JP rotation, it's going to be this Alice banner. This Alice banner is pretty situational in my opinion, but it is going to have the similar stats, or same stats as other gunner classes. It's going to have 400 M defense on the Arcana, and then 300 M defense on the actual job with 100 M attack. So I think this will be pretty good for either clerics to pick up or defense buffers / debuffers. So that'll be good. And then also the gun is alright. DC 1 with a tier 4 single target, which is solid. But it has fairly balanced stats for 17 cost. But I think this will be very usable in a current grid, since there aren't too many insanely good ranged weapons at the moment. But I think the real reason why you would pull on this is because there aren't any Alice Gunner classes in the game. And with the raids or the conquest coming back, I believe the Ogre Conquest is Alice raid up or Alice boosted, so Alice will deal more damage. It will deal 70% damage in that area. So that'll be very useful for clearing that really quickly and also probably carrying your guildmates through it. Skipping the orb again, we're going to look at this physical weapon. Not ideal, leeching, physical hammer, replenish magic 2, which isn't the worst. It has very good stats for both attacks actually, but really low defense if you care about that. For an 18 cost, since it's a physical weapon on this banner, I would probably skip it if you're purely physical, but it wouldn't be the worst thing for a subgrid. If I would say if you're pulling on this as a gunner, I'd say that's the only reason to pull on this. And then this book is pretty comparable to something like Omniscient Tome right now. It has high attack stats and then favoring P defense, and then blade deployments, not ideal, but better than a lot of other Kalos support skills right now. But this is definitely not a pull for Sorks, and I'd say it's only going to be a pull for gunners. And even then, I would probably only pull for the job and only probably just one copy of the gun. There's no reason to pull more than that. Just pull for the job just to help out with the Ogre Conquest. And then after that one, just going to quickly go on to the last banner, which possibly could be coming this month if they do update the Alt Reality arc. It would be the Alt Gretel banner, which is pretty solid in my opinion for many people. Scrolling up, it's going to have the same alt stats. It's going to have 160 stats for each category. That's the same for all the alt reality jobs. And then looking at the spear, it's pretty solid. Tier 3 increases own M defense, not ideal, but it has mental focus 1, which is probably the second best call skill you can have besides Dauntless Courage, but it has very balanced stats. So other than that, I don't think that's going to be a must pull, since a lot of paladins have other banners that they're going to be looking forward to, like that Grand Prix banner from the Grand Election. And then scrolling down, looking at armor giants, I think this is going to be very niche, and then even then, I don't think it's going to see any use. A lot of these debuffing skill nightmares are not very useful in Collar right now, and it's going to probably be some time until they find a certain niche, but even then, they're going to see some rare use, if any at all. And then looking at this gun, it goes to LL. Not too much to say beyond that. Increases own M attack, replenish magic 2, really balanced stats. Again, that's sort of a deal breaker. Balanced stats, only 100 more into M attack, and then decent call skill, replenish magic 2. I still think that's not enough to make people want to pull on this banner, so I don't think you would be pulling on this. The only thing that interests me on this banner is going to be this tome. It's going to be a physical defense, M defense, 1.5 target, replenish magic 2. Pretty solid defense stats for an 18 cost. And the only reason why I like this tome is that there aren't too many good defense down tomes in the game right now. A lot of them are a lot of Sorks that you see specking into defense down mostly have a couple SR tomes that need to be replaced because there aren't enough L tomes in the game right now to replace those. A lot of the tomes that have come out, besides the one on the spec banner, have been attacked down, so that's just been flooding the banner pools. So it's about time we've gotten another defense down tome. So I think this is going to be the best weapon on this banner. So I think since Sorks don't have a whole lot to look forward to, I think this will be probably must pull for one copy of that tome. And then also this job is pretty solid for Sorks as well, because 160 into each stat is really good for all. Alright, me from the future. I forgot to look over this weapon real quick on the Gretel alt banner. This is the Steel Whistle. It's going to be something comparable to probably Cool Breeze is what we have now, but it's going to be an 18 cost. So I think this is going to be a direct upgrade from that. But then again, I don't think this is going to be very useful in many grids, except if you're defense buffer minstrel. But even then, I don't think this is good enough for a minstrel to pull on this banner. And I still stand by what I said, that probably Sorks are going to have the best time on this banner. And then that will cover all the banners that I think will be coming in the next couple weeks until probably December. And then we'll see a lot of new events come out. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.